So I took my own advice. Had a little water break.
Yes, we did. We needed it.
We did need it. We did need it, and a potty break too. Okay, so I love this. I love this room. You made the comment earlier that you do lots of high-low.
Yes.
And it's hard for me sometimes to tell the difference between the high and the low, which is a mark of brilliance on your part. So give me a couple of high-low examples in here.
Okay. Well, a couple of the pieces of furniture, like the black chest over here, actually belonged to my parents. And it's a very nice piece of furniture from the late 60s.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what they paid for it, but it's a good brand, and it was a nice piece, which I kept when my parents dismantled their homes. And then this piece behind you, the sideboard.
I'm going to stop you there because speaking of seasonal, and that's a whole topic I want to talk about. Oh my gosh!
Don't you love that?
That is just incredible in symbolism, in just absolutely everything.
But who knows what, right? And I don't use it seasonally. That is an estate sale find, and it was done in the 70s. When I took it apart, there was newspaper that had been padded in the back. So I found a date. It was done in the 70s, I think.
It almost looks as if it's, excuse me for interrupting, as if it's material, but it's paint.
No, it's paint. And I'm assuming that it's a young person's artwork. I don't know. And the funny part is I found it at this estate sale and I really liked it. And it was very badly framed, of course. And it was $10 and I thought, no, I'm going to pass it. Well, then later that day I kept thinking about what a great piece of art that was. So of course I was the first person in line at the half price on the next day to get my $5 piece of art. So this is definitely low, right? But it is really a cool piece, and I really, I don't know. I see it for Thanksgiving, Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most memorable things in your house.
Thank you. I think it's pretty cool. And then I love the contrast with this Asian-inspired chest.
I do too, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. That's funny.
No, that is just brilliant.
Anyway, but the really low thing in here, which I think is pretty cool, is we had some antique dining room chairs that had cane seats. And of course, those cane seats don't last forever.
Right.
And it's so expensive to replace all that now. So I was at Target one day, and on the end cap, they had clearanced their Windsor chairs. So of course I could only get 3 at the Target I was in, so I had to keep working on it. But I ended up with 8 of these chairs, and they're just very useful and sturdy and much more comfortable than our antique chairs.
And they have a real shaker quality.
And they have a shaker quality, but also a Danish quality. They have, they pull the 70s back in and the 60s.
But they match brilliantly with your old primitive cabinet, and I love the quilt on the table, so it speaks to that.
And I'm sure you know our little store, Sukasa.
Oh, yes.
So I am a fanatic of the Kanta quilts that Lynn imports.
I know.
So they're everywhere in our house. And occasionally I'll see one of her posts and there'll be a quilt in the background and I'm like, I have to go get that one. It's so cool. Anyway, but that's what this is. So, and they're reversible, and there's always interesting things on that one's not quite so reversible, is it? But some of them are very different on the opposite side.
They are, and some of them are real vibrant in tone, and some of them
but
have
I love
more
how
of a
they,
historical look.
Pieces on it.
Well, this is, it's funny
so
that you mentioned.
And again, they're very inexpensive, so it's a great way to do a tabletop.
And for those of us who want to really deconstruct what you just said, spell that for people so that they will know what to look for, because there are various sources of them. They're from India, are they?
They're from India.
Yeah, they're from India.
And I may be wrong, so someone will catch me on this, but I think it's Kantha.
Yeah.
And it's pronounced Kanta.
Yeah, I believe so too.
A lot of people will say Kantha, but I think it's Kanta.
Yeah, one of my I have few regrets, but one of my regrets that I have is my son lived in India for years, and
you should have boatloads of them.
I should have boatloads of them, but I don't. I have other wonderful things, but I don't have some of these. But interestingly, this is one of the things that I want to infuse in my own decor when you come in, because I can see these with some of the as pillows.
She's a great source, right? You can do pillows out of it. They're often not really large in size, so they make good tabletop things. But I found one in Dallas at a store that we all used to love, Wisteria.
Oh yeah.
That was large enough for our bed. So it really, it's a king size, which was a real find, because they are hard to find.
I think that's the mark of a good decorator. First of all, you're opportunistic. You always have your eyes and ears open for something that has potential. I'm gonna give a little shout out to Lynn, because Lynn, you're probably going to be watching this.
I hope she will. Yes.
Love you, girl. She has a wonderful home in the Paseo district,
Yes.
which is a historic district here within spitting walking distance of my house. That's Spanish architecture.
Right, from the same time period as this house.
This house, just wonderful. And she's got a needlepoint shop there with fun little gift items and everything. If you're coming in from out of town, you definitely want to go to Su Casa in the Paseo district. So you and I were commenting on the fact that you do not have a rug in here, and I love that. I don't have a rug in my dining room either.
Yeah. Well, for practical reasons, it makes a lot of sense not to have one. In my house, it also works because there's so much around us that, again, having a simple, quiet floor is appropriate. And I think it helps show off the other things in the room.
Right. Yeah, in gardening terms, I call that negative space.
Yes.
I need to have some negative space,
Absolutely.
and I have way too little of it right now. I need to go home and work on
I don't have a lot of it, but
yeah,
I have some.
So what are these interesting?
So those are called magic sticks, and an artist friend of mine made those many years ago. But she works with found objects. That's kind of how she does her sculpture. And these are vertebra bones, and then she carved these sticks out of, I think they're redwood or something, and she used a bandsaw. And then it's all covered in rice paper. And then she embellished some of them with little things. So
talk about texture, and
anyway,
my husband would just go crazy over, because he's a huge anthropologist.
Well, and it's just, again, in this house, it's like, what are those? Because there's nothing like that. It's just interesting, I think, and different and contrast. But they don't stand out, right? But they, and I think I probably liked them when I was really in my Santa Fe mode, and I thought they had that vibe, but that's kind of passed, and so they still work as an art piece, though.
Yeah. There's something everywhere you look. Now this kind of crosses over from your sweet thing, so this must be a love.
Sweet. That's my great grandmother.
I was going to say, I bet it had. It is. I bet it had a story.
Yeah. And it always sat up on something like a cat will do, surveying the room. So.
And I bet it just, again, jettisons you back to your childhood to see it.
Yeah, I would not buy it. Today.
So this is both. We're going to come into the kitchen, and this both feels very much like it speaks the same language, but it's in a completely different, refreshing, liberating way. So come in here because it's got a different spatial awareness.
Well, the scale changes in here.
The scale changes.
So this is the transition point between the old and what we call the old and the new house. And the first part of this room really was the original kitchen. The back door was a window. The kitchen sink was kind of right in here where this countertop is. There was a window here. So it was a very narrow galley kitchen. Had some interesting architecture features. I mean, the ceiling is sloped, kind of a shed roof on the outside. So then when we decided to make the addition, this became our China room / breakfast room, and then a new kitchen, which we needed and wanted. So
it's got a sensation of dining in a butler's pantry.
It does have that feel. It absolutely does.
So and this is where you've got all of your fiesta ware, more of your blue and white. I'm gonna take a leap here and say you've got kind of an obsession with China dishware. Look at the color on that.
Yeah, that's Russell Wright American Modern from the 40s, I believe, maybe late 30s. I love that chartreuse color.
Do you and your husband entertain a lot?
We would like to say we do, but
I know.
We don't. So part of the reason for doing this room was we had amassed all these dishes, and we wanted to be able to see them. And so we can at least do that and enjoy them. And then we really do, just for the two of us, we use this all the time. I mean, I realize it's just 2 plates or something, but we are enjoying it.
And using special things. And the other thing is if you need some kind of rationalization for having a kind of acquisitive personality, that's not just functional. It is also artistic.
Absolutely.
So it is every bit as beautiful as things you've got hanging on your wall.
No, I agree, and I love it. And they started, the shelves were neatly put together and kind of arranged, and then as we got more and more and more, it just has become, it is storage, but it's still really beautiful, I think, to see it. And those shelves and the cabinets contain it.
Yes.
So again, you're not seeing total chaos. when you just look at the room.
Well, it's got very much of an organic vibe to it, and it also is indicative of the fact that you actually are using your pieces.
Yeah, we really do.
And you've got silver that I bet also gets used. And we're getting, and I would probably also guess that it's going to be used more because we're getting ready into, one of the nice things about Oklahoma is if the wind isn't blowing and it's not very, very hot, we do have a pretty long season of outdoor dining when we can live outdoors. And so you've got so many great outdoor spaces.
And we use all these things outdoors too. We don't just use them in the dining room. So
yeah.
We try not to be too precious with all that stuff.
Yeah. So is this pink spode?
That is actually
what is this?
Johnson Brothers British Castles, which is a really popular pattern that comes in the pink and it also comes in blue that a lot of people collect. And then there are some in the stacks. There are some spode pieces and things that I've collected. At one time, I had a really dark red bedroom. And a lot of this china was on the walls, which was a really pretty and attractive thing.
Yeah. So that would be more probably how my dining room looks now. So this goes out into your secondary kind of a courtyard, back door, back entrance, maybe where you bring in your groceries, that kind of thing. Thank you for having some beautiful flowers.
Well, we did entertain this weekend, and that's my centerpiece for the dining room.
Okay, so. That's wonderful.
And you always like tips, so this is one of mine. When I designed the kitchen, I'd always wanted a place to have flowers in the house that that I would enjoy every day. And the dining room table is really not the place. I mean, you pass by there, but you really don't. And the entry hall doesn't work so much. So when I intentionally did this and said I'm going to always have something on the counter, whether it's a flower arrangement, from the weekend, or something I just got out of the yard, or when pumpkins are going to be out here soon, there'll be a big pumpkin up here. Yeah. Just something to enjoy. And this is the one place we are a million times a day is standing right here, so we get to enjoy it.
And I think it takes a tip kind of from restaurants and bars and things, that they always have a place, one central place, where they always have fresh, and usually it's kind of extravagant.
Yes, it is.
And this is just beautiful. And so the other thing is I notice on a practical level that even though you like layering in things, that you have lots of functioning, workable space. Yes. So you like to cook, don't you?
Oh, we do, absolutely.
Yeah, you cook a lot. So this is just a brilliant kitchen, and
so another high-low thing. These two pieces of granite were in our old kitchen, and when we did the new kitchen, I was like, I hate to throw that away. So we created this storage rack out of Metro shelving, restaurant shelving. Great place to put the nice cast iron so you can see it. Yeah. And of course that's so heavy it's hard to get in and out of the cabinet anyway. So it's out. But anyway, these tops became very useful for the kitchen too, and provides a little contrast to the black. So
well, and is just a nice take on an island, on a kitchen island, with it being looking a little bit more old and
right. It fits in the house.
A little less maybe suburbia, and you've got the beautiful windows and the shades, and everything just works together beautifully. So it is just so gorgeously curated, and again intimate. It feels very cozy. Now, one of my favorite things that I'm anxious to show you about my house that I'm gonna guess you're gonna really be jealous of.
Okay.
I have a wood-burning fireplace in my kitchen.
In your kitchen?
In my
kitchen. Oh, how wonderful. See, and that's such a useful place to have it.
It is.
You're in there.
Oh, and the ridiculous thing is we've got these houses, and of course, compared to contemporary houses, my English Tudor isn't that big.
Right.
But nevertheless, where do we live? We live in this tiny little area in my tiny kitchen and breakfast area where the fireplace is.
That's
where we live our entire life there, which is I think a consideration for people if you're building a house or whatever. Where do you really live?
Right. No, I agree. It's those kind of spaces.
So again, brilliance in design for not only how it functions, but also how you age in place. The fact that your master bedroom is right near the kitchen. Let's go
and
there.
That was one of the things we wanted to do with an addition, was to try to be able to age in place. So the master bedroom, getting on the first floor, getting the laundry out of the basement, those sorts of things. Having a shower that you can walk or roll into.
Absolutely.
So very important design considerations. So.
And you've got pieces that just transition beautifully from kitchen, so you've got an assortment of both kitchen items but also pretty items with additional storage that you've got that leads you into this.
So where you're walking through Linda now was the back door.
Oh,
to the house.
really?
That was for the back door. So this is how you pop out into what is now the master bedroom and sitting room.
So where was the kitchen?
So it was along there, where the china and all that. That was the kitchen.
Oh,
that was the
okay,
galley kitchen.
okay. And then you expanded it
so
out
then we came
this
out
way.
to
I
the
gotcha.
north.
Okay, very
But
good.
that hallway that you just came through was here, and where the door is now was a window, and where the door into the bedroom was the back door, so to the house.
And you've managed to make it, even though it's a passageway, you've still managed to make it functional space because there's storage.
Oh, absolutely.
And this little
But it also provides a
foyer.
transition from the kitchen to the bedroom, which is a little tricky when you're adding onto one of our old houses to get the transition right.
So that
and
it
so you
doesn't-
don't really feel like you're moving from the kitchen to the bedroom, but you are.
But you
So
are. And it's okay. But it's also
It's also handy at night though when you go to get ice cream. So
it's also handy at night when you come in and you're absolutely exhausted. You
Yes.
just come in that back door and you just fall
Right.
into bed.
So-
Oh my gosh, I love one of the things that I'm passionate about. I love a British colonial look. And this room has
It does have that,
a
doesn't it?
real British colonial vibe. I like the fact that you made no apology or whatever for putting the TV here in your bookshelves. That's just,
I think it's what we do, and so you just have to do it.
yeah.
I find that when I go in homes where it has been hidden, it's usually some cabinet and the doors are gaping open, and it just really draws more attention
Yes.
to the fact that you tried to do something and then to let
Yes.
it just kind of disappear into this. So
Yes.
I do like that.
But this also has a modern sensibility, so it does not look necessarily out of place.
Right. No, I agree.
And it
So-
looks.
And when we designed this, I of course loved the living room ceiling, and I wanted to echo that in some way back here, but I didn't want it to be so heavy. I mean, I
Right.
think sleeping under all that every night would be, not a great feeling. So we did the wood again and did the beams, but then we decided to just paint it all. And of course, the beams are not nearly as massive as the ones in the living room. But I
and
think
very much an indoor-outdoor vibe because they've got. You almost expect these to be French doors that would go
and we
outside.
talked about that sort of thing, but they get in the way, when you're in the house.
can.
So, and we really have enough ways to get in and out. So I felt like the windows probably.
And maybe from a security
served us well.
standpoint.
Security
too.
standpoint, we actually do open our windows when we can.
Yeah.
And so we like that aspect of it. And I don't.
Nice cross
Right.
breeze.
I don't
here.
love sleeping with just a door standing open. I feel a little safer with just a window open.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Well,
you know.
and you're right near the back door, so this
Yeah.
is. But every place, what I love about all of your living areas is every place I feel like I could plop down and be very comfortable with a book and a cold drink or a cup of tea
Or a glass of wine.
or a glass of
Right.
wine or a bracing glass of whiskey on ice.
Yes.
Yeah, anywhere, and just feel so at home.
Well, thank you for saying that. That is, I think that's a goal. Is you want,
Yeah.
even if you are a minimalist, you still want to be able to do those things.
Yes.
I mean, we're all
Yes.
drawn to that.
Yes.
And there are different aesthetics on how that works and what you want, but you still want a comfortable place, and you should have lots of them.
Yeah, and even if you're a minimalist, I think minimalism and warmth are not mutually exclusive.
They are not exclusive at all.
So this
And
is
as you come out here too, you will see the furnishings start getting a little more mixed. There's some 70s things, some reproduction things, from the 20s and 30s. The sofa is a copy of a famous designer from the 30s, I believe. But then mixed with, as you said, this British colonial type bed. The black chest to the right of it was a piece in my grandmother's
one of my
breakfast room.
favorite things. Oh, and when you're not looking, I'm going to snag that lamp over there.
Isn't that wonderful?
That is wonderful.
So when I was in college, I guess, and didn't have funds to buy things, there used to be this wonderful store in Oklahoma City at 50 Penn Place, and it was an Asian shop.
Oh,
And
wow,
now I'm
you're-
going to not remember the last name. You might not have even lived here then.
I don't think I did.
Anyway, I always was fascinated by these lamps and her tansu chest that she had. So in the dining room, I got a tansu chest that
Wonderful.
was going to be dumped out at the retail store I worked in. I paid nothing for that. But anyway, this woman passed away, and I was at her estate sale, and this was one of the lamps. And I don't remember it specifically, but it was in her home. So it was clearly something she bought when she had this store. The name will come to me later. And it was a lovely, lovely
Wonderful
store.
touch points.
But again, and even though I didn't really know her, she lived near this house, and there's just a connection. She was someone in our city who had her own business, and it was just
Yeah.
really kind of a neat thing.
Oklahoma City has a really deep and rich, we may be a young state, but it's a very deep and rich history, and we're going to show an example of that
Oh,
here
we are, yes.
momentarily. But speaking of connections, you know, you may have a lot of stuff. This is an easy house to live in. And here is an example of that. Can we talk first a little bit about your floors?
Well, we decided to just do stained concrete, partly for practicality reasons in the bathroom, and you're going to see the laundry in a minute. But we kind of, we felt like wood wasn't just great for that. We also had acquired this big rug, and I didn't really want to put wood down and then cover it up with a rug.
Right.
So it just made more sense just to go ahead and stain the concrete and get the dark brown color like the wood floor.
Yeah.
But it's great. And the heat ducts run under it, and it actually stays warm in the winter. So you would think it would be really cold. That we did not know that was going to happen, but it was
a happy circumstance.
It was a happy circumstance. So, and then in the summer, of course, it is cool, and we like that. So
yeah, very much. So this then comes into the master bath where I love using these kind of rugs in.
You're standing on my very favorite rug in my whole collection. I just absolutely love that for some reason. It's simple, but the colors are wonderful, and
you've got large baskets for utilitarian purposes. I love that. But even in this area, and I'm so glad that you said we could come into your bathrooms, because here's so many good little ideas when you don't have room for a regular door. You've got one of these sliding pocket doors here, and you've got both practical and good-looking storage in here. And I like the fact that these shelves are fixed.
Yes, they are.
They're here, and they're a little bit thicker, and they're fixed, and you've got more pottery in here, and it's a walk-in or roll in eventually.
I don't, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, we're at that transition point in time, so it's really lovely. Let me get out of the way so Stuart can kind of show that. These are deer.
That's great. She's a not Seattle, but
Washington. Are they clay?
I think they're clay, and I have a flower pot outside sitting on that table in the sitting area that she did, but I love those. But I don't think she's working anymore.
Better show these, Stuart, or people are going to ask what we're talking about. These little clay flowers and things here. I have some of these baskets too.
Aren't those great?
They are great. They're very fun. They're made I don't know if these are made out of gum wrappers or I don't know, something like that, but they're woven.
That or comic books or I don't know, but something like that.
Yeah, something colorful.
Right.
Something colorful. And then this is just incredible. I love the the brilliance and ease of living. So all your bedding and everything, storage is right near your bedroom. And then come back around here, Stuart, and so smart. You have no excuse for being caught up in your laundry, John. Ever. Because this is where your laundry room is.
It is. And it really is convenient. So
this is where the closet is.
Yeah, Stuart, you MC this one. Talk about the closet.
You go. I got no mic.
Well, you have artwork even.
I have artwork. I have some family things that I didn't quite know what to do with. So that model was something my dad had made, and we couldn't let go of it. So, but I also didn't want it out in the living room. So it was a great thing for the closet. And then the artwork to the left of that is a friend who does some things that I kind of like. And
now this might be a strange question. Is this tornado?
It is not.
It is not.
No, we have a basement in the house, so we didn't really need to do any other
because
tornado stuff. But
in Oklahoma and actually all parts of the country
really,
need to think about a safe place where you can go for shelter from tornadoes and things. It also, I think, is just a perfect example in here of how you look at everything through an artist's eye. Mirror. Stuart is not allowed to be. If anybody sees Stuart, we have to kill them because he is very much
the mysterious Stuart.
Yeah.
About 20,000 of them.
So, but you look at everything through an artist's lens. That functional things are also a form of beauty. And I mean, when I saw this made me so happy because I'm a big hat person.
Yes, I know you are. So my retail background shows up in the closet, don't you think?
I think
things are folded and
stacked. I think your retail self is showing a little bit.
I think it is.
I think so too. So that's just beautiful. And then I want to end on this historical note because you live in such a historical neighborhood. I live in a historical home. It's near and dear to our hearts. And man, this is the essence of the history of
Isn't that
Oklahoma.
great?
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this very well, but describe to us what this is, John.
Well, it's the state capitol on the left where Stuart just started. And then you can see it's surrounded by oil derricks, which is what this whole area was built on. And then as he keeps going to the right, you'll see into the neighborhood. And that's actually 21st Street right in here. And the house we're touring is right there. So we feel like this picture was taken probably in the
That is so
early
cool.
30s, somewhere in there.
You can totally see it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow.
And this so speaks now for those of you from out of state who may wonder. No, we don't have these oil derricks. I think there's one on the
But
still
none
on
of the actual
but
derricks.
none
There's
of the
some
towers.
right.
Yeah, there's the pumps, but
The pumps are a couple
not
of
the
those.
towers anymore. Which it looks cool here, but really is kind
would've
of
been horrible.
unsightly. It would have been horrible.
Right. And it must have smelled just atrocious.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And this is very much, we're thinking the vintage of like the 1930s, which is also when my house was
And
built.
the other interesting thing that I don't know the history on, apparently there was a streetcar.
There was a
through
streetcar,
here.
yeah.
And
And I bet it connected with the streetcar that ran up and down Classen, which is very much
must
near
have,
my
somehow.
house. Yeah. So it gives us a window into the past,
does.
which gives us a touch point to how we're kind of we're a nice little reservoirs
Yes.
of the past in these older homes, and it's I think why we're so crazy about
and,
them.
and it's such an honor to be a caretaker of something like this and
Yeah.
to keep it going. And
Yeah.
and our house is I guess 93 years old now, and it's amazing how much of it is still intact because it has been cared for most of the time, and of course there's always something new to take care of. But
Yes.
but anyway, I feel very fortunate to be able to. And our financial advisor said that I'm trying to think how he said this, but anyway. Owning an older home, a historic home, is truly a lifestyle choice. You pick to do that and then to invest your money in it and to take care of it.
Yes.
And if you aren't willing to do that, it's probably not for you because it's a lot of work.
It's about being a good steward.
It is, absolutely.
About being a good steward. But the other thing is all of us who have experienced real major swings in the real estate market, up and down and up and down and up and down. As someone told me, again, it was a financial person, but they're not making any more old homes.
No, they are not.
So they're not making any more 100-year-old homes. And so there will always be an appetite for those vestiges of history to really reside in history. And I always like to think, like who knocked on these doors and what news was conveyed through these doors through the world wars and all of those kind of things. So it really does make you feel a responsibility to be a good steward. And nobody's a better steward than you are. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this real treat, and thank you to John, who gave us a good chunk of his time.
Thank you. My pleasure to show it all.